Alright, so you could see here on the right side in my Explorer, I added the same script to all my parts, so now all my balls should behave the same. And of course, you should have added a third spawn point here that uses a different team color than the one found here and here. And now the next step is we want to cause these balls to rise and fall. Alright, so let's go back into module scripts, and right in here is where we're going to do this. So the way we're going to do this is by using a while loop. Okay, and so we're going to say while true because we want this to happen forever. And what are we going to do in here is make the balls fall, then rise, and then it's going to. So how does a while loop work is if this condition is true, then it's going to do whatever I put inside of the while loop. When it gets to the end of the while loop, it's going to come back up to the top and check if this is true, right? So then it's going to keep on doing this forever. Okay. Because we set this equal to true, it's going to do whatever I put in here, that what we call the body of the while loop forever. Of course, this could also be a different expression, like if a variable is equal to 5, then keep on doing, and eventually that variable won't be equal to 5 and this while loop would stop, right? But in our game, we want it to happen forever, so I say while true. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is cause the balls to rise and fall. Fall then rise. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, and actually I could show you how this while loop works by printing out hello world. Now if I go ahead and print out hello world like this and I run the game, it's actually going to break our program. And when I say break our program, I mean it causes everything to freeze. Okay, and why is that? It's because our computer is extremely fast and it runs, I don't know, maybe it could run this while loop maybe let's say 600 times a second, right? And that's exactly what it's going to do forever. And so all of the computer's resources are going to be used to print out hello world like that many times, and it's going to freeze our computer, not let it do anything else, right? So the only way that we can see this is actually working is if we come into the body of the while loop and we can wait for a little bit. So let's wait for 0.1 seconds in between printouts, and let's go ahead and play. The printout, of course, is going to happen down here. You can see here, right? The prints are happening every 10 times a second, right? Because I made it wait 0.1 seconds. So this is working, okay? The way that we think it is. Let's come back in here, erase that code that we just added, and let us wait instead for 3 seconds. After we wait for 3 seconds, we're going to put a for loop, okay? And what is this? What is a for loop? It's the same as a while loop, except it behaves a little bit differently. So go ahead and follow along with me here, and I'll explain once we are finished. Do. And I am going to part.position is equal to part.position plus vector 3.new 0, 0, 0. This center one, I want to make it negative 0.3. And what else I'm going to do? I'm going to wait for a little bit, like 0.1 seconds. Okay, so maybe I could just like check to see if this works, and then afterward I could explain to tell you exactly what it does. Okay. So look at the balls. They are lowering. Maybe not all the way, right? So we gotta kind of adjust that, and then they're lowering again. And why are they lowering again and again? Because we programmed it to fall. That's all we're doing here, and we're doing it while true, and it's waiting 3 seconds every time the while loop loops. Okay, so it's waiting 3 seconds, lowering a certain amount, then it's coming back up, waiting 3 seconds, lowering a certain amount. So you can see here the balls are going to infinitely lower, lower, lower while waiting 3 seconds in between lowering, right? And also we added this little part into it, which I don't think we should. So we got a couple of things to debug. Let's go ahead and stop it here. And this part is part of one of our parts. Right? We don't want that to rise and fall. So this is my mistake. It might be your mistake too. So make sure that that part does not have the script that attaches it to the module script. Okay. Now he's not going to fall down. Another issue that we saw was that when they lowered, they didn't lower all the way to the ground. There was like a 2 or 3 stud difference between the base plate and the bottom of the ball. So that means we need to come over here and we need to increase this number. So let's increase it to 28, see if that makes any difference, and let's run it. Again, the explanation is going to come in a little bit, but first let's see if it actually works. Okay, so we need to lower it more, right? So let's come back. Let's change this number to 35 and see if that helps us out. Okay, so they are dropping. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit too much, right? I think the bottom of the ball is in the ground, so I'm going to change to 33. Of course, yours is going to be different, so you need to fine-tune yours so that it's perfect. Okay, and I think my weight is too slow, so I'm going to change this to 0.05, and so it looks a little bit more smoother, like the balls are smoothly coming down instead of jaggedly coming down. You see that? Okay, so that looks good to me. Okay, and then I want to wait for 3 more seconds, and I want them to rise. I want them to go back up. Okay, and to do that, we're going to copy the weight, we're going to copy the for loop, and we're going to paste it right below. Okay, and if we want, we could put in a comment. This is a line of code that is used for notes for yourself, right, to explain the code that you wrote. And so I'm going to put here balls falling, and then over here I'm going to put balls rising. Okay. And then the only thing that we need to do to make it rise is to change this from a negative 0.3 to a positive 0.3. And let's go ahead and play this and see if it works. There we go. Wait 3 seconds and then they should rise. I'm going to go for it. Let's see if I can make it. Nope. Nope. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and stop there. Of course, this needs a little bit of adjustment, but this is a good starting place, and I'll go ahead and give you the explanation, and then we'll make it look a little bit less. We'll make it so that the balls don't all rise and fall at the same time.